If your steering system has seen better days and you're in search of an affordable replacement for your 2007 to 2018 JK Wrangler, this steering kit will be a solid solution. Now, the factory steering system is not bulletproof, especially when put up against larger wheels and tires with heavier rotational mass, so this will serve as a great replacement if you've started to notice some wear and tear or additional play in the steering. This kit will tighten everything up for the JK owner looking to do some maintenance and isn't looking to completely upgrade to a heavy-duty kit if they're not wheeling their JK hard or have a super heavy wheel and tire setup that could cause any accelerated wear and tear. This will improve your handling and performance by completely replacing the drag link, tie rod, and ends, as well as the steering stabilizer. This will also remain fully adjustable and carry over some of the same features that your factory setup did, while requiring no modification to your knuckles with a factory-like fit. Now, I would like to mention though that after you install this, you will need to take your Jeep to get an alignment for the best drivability. Now again, this will be a factory style replacement, so you can expect OE quality out of this, made of a steel tube construction. Now, the tie rod and the drag link ends will also have factory style ball joints and the collar adjustment on the drag link to make sure that it's very easy when it comes to alignment. Now, the ends of the tie rods are also going to be set up very similarly when it comes to threading them on and adjusting them. Now, the stabilizer will also resemble the OE one with a comfortable hydraulic shock build while offering good resistance to absorb any unwanted feedback. Not to mention, this will come with everything that you need in the kit as far as all the hardware and a new castle nut and cotter pin. This will come in at roughly $375 for the kit, being pretty affordable compared to other full steering kits. Now again, this will keep it simple and straightforward with a replacement OE setup. Now, others on the page may be made of a chromoly material, they may have a larger tube size or heavy-duty ball joint ends, again for those heavy wheel and tire setups like a 33 and those harder wheeling situations. Now those, however, because of their size, may require modification to the knuckle or additional components, as to where this is not going to need any of that. Now, I think if you don't need all of that extra strength or those added bell and whistles, you just need a solid and an affordable replacement for your steering setup, then this is going to be it. So when it comes to install, this will be a 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, taking you about 3 hours to get the job done. And again, you will need an alignment after you install this kit to keep that factory-like drivability. However, at this point, we can head over to the shop and check out a detailed breakdown of what the install looks like step by step. So that wraps it up for me. Let's jump into it.
Tools used for this install: 15, 18, and 19 millimeter sockets, 3/8 electric impact gun, a 22, 21, 20, 19, and 18 millimeter wrench, and a hammer. Hey guys, I'm going to show you how to install our steering kit here on our 2014 Wrangler, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is remove our steering bar here. There's a nut up top here, it's a 21 millimeter, and then another 21 down here. I'm going to take my 21 millimeter wrench and break this loose and remove our nut here. We'll get this one off. So now I'm going to take my 21 millimeter and break this nut loose. So now we have these both off. I'm going to take a hammer. We're going to smack it here and smack it on the other one to break these our joints here loose. So I'm going to take my ball peen hammer, smack it right here, and get this loose. And then we're going to come down to the other side here and give it a whack and hold it in place. I put the nut on that just to hold it. So now that we have these two broken loose, I put the nuts back on them and put it up into place. And that way it's ready to come off. We're going to remove our shock here that's on for our stabilizer here that's on our center link here. Then once we get this off, we'll be able to pull this one off, pull that one down, and we'll get all our steering out of the way. So I'm going to take an 18 millimeter, get on this nut right here, break it loose. We'll take that off. Now that we got that loose there, we're we're going to be able to take our 2 outer tie rod nuts off, hit them with the hammer, and drop this whole thing out of the way. So now I'm going to take my 21 millimeter, my 3/8 gun, break this loose here. And I'm going to get it 3/4 of the way up and leave it on. Now we'll do the same on the opposite side. So I'm going to take my 21 millimeter again on this side, break this loose. I'm going to get it pretty far off, but enough to stays on so when I hit it, it falls down, but it doesn't drop all the way down onto the ground. So now I'm going to take my ball peen hammer, smack it right here to get this loose. And we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Going to do the same now to this side, take my ball peen hammer, give it a couple smacks. Okay, so now we're going to remove the nuts that we left just a couple threads on. Set that nut out of the way. Drop this down, remove the shock. Come over here, same over here. We'll take this nut off. We'll remove this bar. And then we're going to come up in here, remove the nuts that we broke loose earlier. I'm just going to put them up there for now. And we'll remove this bar. Next, we'll remove our shock. So now I'm going to take a 19 millimeter wrench and a 20 millimeter deep socket on my 3/8 gun, and we're going to run this nut off here. I'm going to get it to that point there where it's loose. Take the nut off by hand. Pull this out and remove that. So now what we're going to do is install our steering link here that goes right here. Now what I did was, it comes with it pretty much together. I just adjusted it to the factory one, and I'm going to stick it back on. Now again, once you do all this, you're going to want to get your vehicle aligned. So what I did was made it the same length as the factory one, and we're going to install this and get this up into place here. And we'll stick our nut on to hold it up in. Now we have our clamps here loose. We'll tighten them up then after we get this in place. And then we're going to come over here and install this one. So now we're going to install our tie rod end over on this side. I'm going to push it up into place. Get our nut in place here. And now we'll tighten them up. So now I'm going to take a 22 millimeter. Tighten this up first. Once I get it tight, you're going to want to move it to the point where you can get a cotter pin in. And then what you're going to do is just spin it up, and you can bend the cotter pin up. I usually try to do it with my fingers. That. Now remember, this one here has a greasable fitting. You're going to want to grease this one. The other ones don't have grease fittings in, so those we won't be greasing. So now we'll go over and tighten the other one up. So now I'm going to take 22 millimeter, tighten this one up. And now that I have this one tightened up, you're going to remember this is not a greasable fitting. Now we'll tighten our 2 clamps up here, lock it in place. So now I'm going to take my 15 millimeter, my 3/8 gun, tighten our clamps up here. That'll lock those in place. So now we're going to put our bottom center link in here with our tie rods in place. And again, what I did with this is I took the stock one and adjusted length to it. And I'm just going to get this up into place here, run our nut in, and then come over here on the other side. Get our sleeve in place, put our tie rod here. Sometimes you got to just bend it a little bit to get it to fit, get it lined up. Hold it up into place. Get our nut started. Adjust that. Now we'll tighten those two up. So now I'm going to tighten these up here on each end. I'm going to take a 22 millimeter, my 3/8 gun, and we're going to tighten these up. We're going to do the same on the other side. So now we're going to tighten our clamp up here. That's going to lock everything in place. Plus we're also going to tighten up our shock mount here. Now I have this adjusted to the factory setting of the other one so we can put our new shock on. So I'll come over here with a 15 millimeter, my 3/8 gun. We'll tighten this one up, get it in place. And we'll come over here, do the same with this one. Now in this one I also had to use a 15 millimeter wrench just to hold the top. This one has a square cutout in the back which locks it in place. So now I'm going to put my shock in place now. I'm going to drop that spacer on, slide over this part of the shock. Put one of our washers in place and our nut. We'll snug that up. And on the other side here we have a bolt with a flat washer. I'll stick that through. Another flat washer to smash the rubber the rubber bushing. Another flat washer and a nut. And now we'll tighten this up. So now I'm going to take my 3/8 gun with an 18 millimeter, tighten this front one up here. So now I'm going to take a 19 millimeter wrench down here and a 19 millimeter socket on my 3/8 gun. And we're going to tighten this one up here. That wraps up this review and install of our steering kit for 07 to 18 Jeep Wrangler JKs. Thanks for watching, and for all things Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.